Today we're going to be talking about Theordoros Kalotinis. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel if you're new here, and welcome back if you're returning. Thank you everybody so much for clicking on my thumbnail today. I know your time is precious and I appreciate you for spending it with me. So today we're going to be talking about Theordoros Kalotinis. I ordered a boatload of samples because I've seen people talk about lemon tart all over TikTok, and one of my subscribers actually mentioned it to me in the comments when I made my lemon gourmand video. So I was like, you know what better way to get to know the brand than just go ahead and order a bunch of samples. So that's exactly what I did. I'm going to be giving a first impressions today and a general overview, my first impressions, my first thoughts that I had about these fragrances. My first impressions is not just me smelling it one time. Maybe I tested on a tester strip once or twice and put it on my skin once, but not enough to get a full on wear or full on opinion about it. Background behind this brand: it's a Greek niche house created by Theordoros Kalotinis in 2014. It was previously known as Theo Parfums, and he is the nose of all of these fragrances. And like, come on, like, give him his round of applause, because like, okay, that's a one-man show. We love the hustle over here. This is an affordable niche house. Each bottle retails for about $55. So let's get right into it. So the first fragrance is Lemon Tart. It was released in 2023. The notes are lemon zest, lemon, vanilla, whipped cream, sugar, tartine, and butter. So I put, this is really realistic, really sweet. I was able to know exactly what a lemon tart was before even seeing it. I did not know what a lemon tart was, but I knew that it had a custardy, wet kind of filling. I could smell that from the fragrance, and I also knew that the crust would be kind of thin but like flaky and buttery. I expected a denser, thinner crust. On a tester strip, I feel like this can be really headache inducing. I feel like the lemon really pulls forward because there is notes of lemon as well as lemon zest, and combined with the butter, I feel like that can be headache inducing if you have a tester strip right up underneath your nose. But I can say that once I put it onto the skin, it smelled a lot better. It combined with my skin chemistry, it warmed up, and overall it was a nicer wearing experience. Now, due to the fact that I have so many lemon gourmands, I do prefer some of the ones that I own a lot more. I will have to say that I will not be exploring this further. I will not personally be adding this to my collection, but if you are on the hunt for a solid lemon gourmand, and you don't want to spend too much, I would highly suggest sampling this one. I think it's a really nice one. I think the butter note can be off-putting, but I will have to say that the dry down is really beautiful, and the butter note's really not that bad. I just did not like the way it smelled on the tester strip, and like for the initial application of the fragrance. And I also felt like it was really sweet. If you're into super sweet gourmands, this would be something for you to check out. I think it was a really fun experience. The next fragrance I'm going to be talking about is Vanilla, and it was released in 2020. The notes on this are caramel as the top note, vanilla as the mid, and patchouli as the base note. So I honestly didn't care for this one that much. Off of initial smell on the tester strip, it very much, I was not able to make sense of it to my brain, to my nose. Again, I'm not an expert. I've only really been into fragrance as a hobby for almost 2 years now. It hasn't even been a full 2 years, I don't think. So I didn't know what to make of it. When I saw the notes, I was like, okay, I could kind of get it. Like, it doesn't, it makes sense in my brain now. So I think I appreciate it a little bit more after seeing the note breakdown. But when you're smelling on a tester strip, I feel like it smells really different. I've been experiencing that a lot lately, like substantially different. On a tester strip, I got a caramel with a cupcake like vanilla and maybe some patchouli underneath. And that's what I got on the tester strip. On my skin, girl, it was a whole different story. So on my skin, I got patchouli and more patchouli and more patchouli. Very like earthy, deep, earthy patchouli and some caramel. And I would definitely say there was more caramel than vanilla. Like, it was like barely vanilla on my skin, but like on the tester strip it was like cupcake, vanilla, caramel, slight earthiness. So I just want to remind you guys to test them on your skin after you test them on a tester strip. It's really, really important. It's thick. It's earthy on my skin. I feel like using a name like vanilla is very misleading. It just really was not for me. It was not my cup of tea. Hi guys, sorry about that. Might be a little bit different of an angle because my camera died, but let's get right back into reviewing these Theordoros Kalotinises. But next we're going to talk about Coffee Addict, and this was created in 2020. The notes are coffee, caramel, vanilla, as well as cacao pod. Now this one is absolutely delicious. You could smell all of the notes. It's sweet and a little bit sticky. I noticed that it had like a ooey gooey caramel like texture a little bit. The coffee is also like the star as well, with the vanilla trailing behind it, and then you can smell, at least my nose, what I can smell the least is the cacao pod. And this one's really nice, and I feel like this one smells a lot more expensive than it is. Like if I wouldn't have known price point and I smelled it, I probably would have said like 125-ish. I definitely feel like this one smells a lot more expensive than $55, and it smells absolutely delicious. I think it's a great price point to quality ratio, and I actually want to test this one further to see if I'm going to be adding it into my personal collection. I just really am impressed with this one, and I think it's a really nice fragrance. The next fragrance I'm going to talk about is Aegean Salt and Citrus, and this was created in 2020. The top notes are grapefruit, which I actually really love. I really love the grapefruit in this fragrance. Middle note of lemon and base note of salt. So I wrote on my notes that this is very fresh and marine. It smells like a body of water. This was meant to capture the scent of the Aegean Sea and the breeze and the crisp, cool air, and this was done fantastically. So it's very fresh, it's very citric. Again, very great quality to price point ratio. I was really impressed and surprised with this one. I was actually really surprised that I liked a scent like this. Like I said before, it is marine, it is fresh, it is citric. I do really think that you guys should test this one, try this one. I think it is sample worthy, and I think it's a nice transportive scent. It's really interesting. So the next fragrance is Jasmine of Athens. This one was created in 2021. Top notes of jasmine, middle notes of tiare, and base notes of vanilla. So this was inspired by the alleyways in Athens. Really heady white florals off initial blast. So much so to the point where I think it could almost be headache inducing. It's really a lot. So I wrote that I smell mostly tiare. The jasmine, however, seeing it in the notes does not surprise me. Granted, that is in the name of the fragrance as well, but I don't think jasmine is the star of this fragrance. I wrote that this fragrance is definitely seductive. I don't get a whole lot of vanilla, but it is just a bit too screechy for me. I think it's interesting to smell, but I feel like actually wearing it, I would feel very uncomfortable. And I think it is pretty unique. I could see this being really headache inducing, like I said before, for many. And the dry down is actually really nice. Like if you could get through the heady florals in the beginning, I think the dry down's really nice. I just think it could be too much for some people, and with that in mind, I just don't think it's worth it for my personal collection. So the Caramel Oud is the next fragrance we're going to be talking about. This was created in 2023. It has notes of caramel, oud, toffee, and saffron. So I didn't like this one at first, like at all. And I smelled it a few times and it grew on me. Like probably by the second or third time smelling it on a tester strip, it grew on me. So I think it's an interesting mix of notes. I wouldn't think to put oud, saffron, toffee. I mean, toffee and caramel, they go together often, but like putting those with oud and saffron was just so interesting for me, and it was somehow harmonious. I don't know how, but it worked. I think that there's something in here that didn't really vibe with me the first time I smelled it, and it did give off a metallic accord. Fragrantica lists a metallic accord, and I wouldn't be able to necessarily put my nose on it until I saw that, but I was like, yeah, that is what I'm getting. I am getting a metallic-y kind of accord. I'm not sure what's causing it, but it does add an interesting touch. I think it is interesting, but I think it can be off-putting for many. And I know that that's what was initially off-putting for me. I smelled it and was kind of like what's going on here? I think in this situation, this might be a case of me liking to smell the fragrance, but not put it on my body. So I could definitely see myself, you know, coming by the sample, catching a whiff of it and enjoying it, but I don't think I would actually enjoy wearing this. I think it's just a interesting mix of things that wouldn't usually go together, and I don't even know a situation where I would want to wear this. I don't really know a situation that would be appropriate for me to wear this. Granted, I have a pretty normal lifestyle. I'm a mother.
I'm a mother! No drama! I'm bothered!
Like, you know. But yeah, I just don't really foresee that being added to my collection. Another fragrance that I sampled from them was Alluring Fig, and this was created in 2021. This has notes of fig leaf, fig, as well as vanilla. So in here, I'm not really getting the vanilla too much. I'm truly getting the fig and the fig leaf. It smells like a juicy fig, realistically and honestly, and I feel like it's a super green fig. It's very sweet and fresh. I'm not usually a fig girl, but I really enjoy this fragrance, and I think for the price point it's fantastic. Even not knowing the price point, I feel like this would be very interesting. Alluring, literally in the title. This is really, really nice, and this is supposed to be capturing a summer in the Greek islands with the fig trees all around. It's very fresh feeling, and I really do like this fragrance. I would like to explore it some more. I think it's really nice, actually. I was really surprised and impressed. And the last fragrance we're going to be talking about, and one of my favorites, is Velvet Chocolate, which was created in 2022. There's notes of chocolate, cacao, vanilla, as well as tonka, and I wrote that it's super creamy and rich chocolate. It smells milky, but also smells like hot chocolate powder. Super edible and yummy, but super realistic as well. And I really feel like it captures chocolate in such a delicious, decadent, photorealistic way. Me, I'm very much a chocolate girly. I have so many chocolate fragrances, or fragrances with a chocolate note in them. I know that's disgusting to many people, but like, I cannot get enough of it. And I think it's a really, really solid chocolate fragrance, and not even knowing the price, I still think it's beautiful. The price is just that added cherry on top. So I know I did not cover all of the Theordoros Kalotinises. I looked on Fragrantica, and there is a lot more. There's quite a few more that I missed. But I did order all of the samples on Lucky Sun, which I'm assuming are probably some of the more popular ones. And I would have to say, all in all, I really, really enjoyed this experience. I think it's a really nice, affordable niche brand. I definitely think it's one to check out. And I think it's worth your time. Ooh, that lighting is so much better. I wish I would have had it the entire time through. But yeah, I definitely think it's worth your time. I definitely think that there's something in here for everybody, which I think is awesome when a perfumer is able to, you know, do different kinds of fragrances. There's some fresh, there's gourmand, there's, you know, that oudi fragrance, there's, you know, that heady jasmine, floral, you know, there's so many options for everybody. So I definitely think this is a solid brand. Definitely one to check out. As for my favorites, I do want to let you guys know which ones that I really enjoyed and would like to test further. So I definitely love Alluring Fig. I was not expecting to like it the way I did, and like I said, or maybe I didn't say, but I'm not really a fig kind of girl. Those like fig fragrances are not the fragrances that I'm going to seek out. And I think this is really, really nice. Very realistic and green and fresh, and just really overall a nice release. I would go so far to even say that this fragrance is a little creamy as well. Very, very nice fragrance. And then another fragrance that would have to be in my top three, Velvet Chocolate, and that was just by default. I love a good chocolate fragrance. This is a solid one. 100% worth it for the price, I would have to say. I will be doing some more testing and also going back to my chocolate fragrances just to make sure there's nothing that's like exactly the same. In my head, I'm kind of thinking it may smell a little bit like Delicious Black Powder by Juicy, which I do own, so I want to go ahead and test them side by side and make sure they're not too similar. The third fragrance that I would have to say is in my top three would have to be Coffee Addict. I really enjoyed this fragrance. I loved the coffee note. Very nice coffee note. I loved how it was kind of like sticky caramel, but not too much. It was not to the point where I would feel disgusting if I was wearing it. It was like the perfect amount of stickiness. It just was so beautiful. I love a solid cacao note and also vanilla. So I feel like that one would also be very mass appealing for people. So I would have to say those are my top three. In no particular order. I really enjoyed them. And then I think a close fourth would have to be the Aegean Salt and Citrus. I am not really like a fresh, salty, you know, citrus kind of girly, but I definitely think that was really nice. I feel like that's gonna wear really nicely in the summer, and I may look into it. It could be a solid gym scent in my opinion as well. So thank you guys so much for spending your time with me and listening to me overview Theordoros Kalotinis. I definitely really enjoyed this journey. I enjoyed sampling some of these fragrances. I know there's a new cotton candy fragrance coming out soon. I posted about it recently in the community tab, and I am really intrigued about that one. I do want to smell it. I know cotton candy had a bit of a moment last year, and it seems like it's going to have a little bit of a moment again this spring. So I'm definitely excited to check that out. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment, as well as subscribe and hit the notification bell. It helps me out more than you guys could ever know. And also, if you're still here, thank you for spending your precious time with me. You are valued and appreciated always. With that being said, thank you so much, guys. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Love you always. Bye.